Howdy everyone. It's been around close to a week before I could get to this video. Tomorrow is the official first day of autumn. I know I have only done the 4 autumn videos, and so this is actually the last autumn and beginning of harvest video. First I wanted to show you, this is my leveling table. It is glass. It has a leveler in the middle. The bubble ones don't really work all that well. And so you have to get straight up above it. And I can tell that this one's got to be lifted on this side. I had to change tables because art tables. Because unfortunately my other one was so warped, I just could not continue. Now, I don't trust these bubbles because they really don't. It just depends, I guess, on how they're set in. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. Lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. Go back. Okay. I want this end lifted. Okay, so this would assume that my floor is not level now, which it's an old house, so it probably isn't too level. And this is kind of how I settle it up. But I also have a major problem. Move it around just a smidge. I don't like how they are. I just don't like the bubblers. And this is kind of my showing you how I set up things up, especially after I just had to change everything. So, being glass, you don't want it scratched a lot. Scratched glass has a tendency to crack and break. So, right now I'm pulling out a blue silicone mat. And I'm looking for the shiny side, which is in the folded area. Now these mats, they're really phenomenal when it comes to having creases in them so badly that you get lumps and bumps and all that stuff. That's one of the other benefits of having a glass leveling table. Yes, they're more expensive. I believe I paid like $45 for this one here. But it's been the most wonderful table I've had. Now, as with most things like screen protectors on your phone and everything, you kind of want to have a little bit of wet. And right now I'm just going to wipe off the table with a damp cloth. And then I'm going to turn this guy over here on where the shiny side is going down to the glass. Now, because the glass is slightly dampened, it's going to want to grab a lot. And you don't want it to grab too well at first because you do want to position it as well as you can on the edges here first. And this will probably be a 10 times longer video than planned. It is a very difficult thing to do, to try to position, especially when you start getting things like cat hair on the underneath there because of the static that these have. Okay, I'm going to try using it at the top first. And I'm off slightly. As I said, they stick really well to glass. Now, I'm not going to worry about getting it perfect just yet because I'm on a time schedule that, oh my goodness, I had such a hard time getting my desk done. I got some shelves made for a cart that I have, and everything was just taking so much time to get it done. So I'm running just a little bit late. That's a little bit better. Now just go ahead and lift it from the other end again. Try to let it just roll down. And you see these creases here. You can get rid of them a lot easier this way. And my dogs are going to get a little antsy because it's almost time for my husband to get home. As I said, I'm running out of time. This is now 4 o'clock my time. And harvest, or fall, autumn, begins at 12:49 a.m. on the 23rd in the morning, which is tomorrow. Just a few hours away. Now you want to get these bubbles out as much as you can. That way your product will still be level. No lumpsy bumpsies and stuff like that. Normally you want this as wet as you can get. But for right now, this is how I'm going to handle it. I'll do the rest sometime a little bit after the video. But you just take a cloth, slide it over the top, get as many bubbles out as you can, go as many different directions as you can to get them out, just so they don't ruin your resin project. That thing's shedding. Okay. All right, that feels about as even as it's going to get for right now. Okay, the next step, I'm going to pause you real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Unfortunately, I just stopped the video, so I'll have to join that later on. Put my sticks out of the way for now. And what I have here, because we are now having some of our first cold weather here in Wyoming, is my heat mat. And as you can tell, it's just a generic style heat mat. I got it off of, let's see, this one here I got off of Temu. Or was it Amazon? Well, I got one of them off of Amazon. I've got 3 of them. 2 of them came, I know for a fact, off of Temu. They are actually pretty good. Oh, I think this is the one I got off of Temu because it has a timer attached to it. Now I'm going to plug this in, but I've got one of those really great surge protectors, and it actually has on it off switches. As you can also see, I have one of the mats that came with the heat mat, the silicone mat, on here already. It was treated the same way. A little damp cloth to wet it down a little bit, shiny side down to the heat mat, and voila. Your heat mat's protected, your glass is protected, and for those of you who already have leveling tables, you can actually get a piece of tempered glass and put it on top of your heat mat. It will not harm your heat mat or anything else. And that will also help protect your wood boards from warping. So you might want to keep that in mind. Look for somebody, a glass place, or somebody maybe on like a Facebook's classifieds or something, and ask around and say, hey, do you have any tempered glass you're wanting to get rid of, that kind of thing. And it really works well that way. Mine I had to purchase, they were $5 a pane, and they were like 16 by 17 or something like that. They were off cut, and that's why they were selling them like that. So I'd have 3 tempered glass panes that I use. Another thing I do is I have my black acrylic sheet. This is 3 mil thick. I don't use it on top of the heat mat, but when I'm working, I like to be able to get what I'm working on to the heat mat when it's in my armoire. My computer armoire doubles up as, of course, my curing station area to keep things from getting into it. But that's what I do with this. And then all you do is just pick it up nice and level as you can, and then carry it over and set it down on your heat mat. But you don't want it directly on the heat mat. Put your glass here first, then do that. All right, let's get that out of the way and get to what's actually going to be going on. I just wanted to get that out of the way and show you. I was asked a couple of times about how I set this up, and so I just wanted to do a small little video on that. All right, I have some gold and copper flake. And the reason why I have gold and copper is because it's to represent fall, of course. All those beautiful reds and golds and yellows, and it's just so pretty. I love fall. I don't like the gold that comes in with it here, but I make do. The object of today's little pour is, yes, a pumpkin mold, but this is that one that I showed in the Temu haul with the leaf. That little guy right there. And it's just another jar. Trinket jar. So that's just going to be that. I'm just going to put some flakes in, and I'm going to put some greenish yellows in here. I'm going to try to make this iridescent if I can, or color shifting. I've just been having problems finding a lot of my things. It took me a very long time just to find my phone I use for recording things. As a matter of fact, I almost came to the conclusion somebody came to my house, stole my phone and my phone stands, and yeah, I know, it was a ridiculous thought, but my husband said, well, I don't know where they are, and he's the one that put them away, of course. So that's all right. I found them, and it was because I realized that the box we'd put them in, or I had put them in, had some of my paints. I no longer have the pegboard attached to a table, so I have to figure out where to put the pegboard and hook my paints up onto it. Excuse me, I got hiccups all day, and they're driving me crazy. And so I'm going to go ahead and go try to find some yellows and browns, color changing, and I'll be back in a few moments. Of course, like a second for you guys. Okay, I ran into a dilemma. I found some chameleons. That's these two right here. I have kind of a copper to gold looking one, reddish. And then there's a green, and I can't really see. I think it goes green gold. but it's very difficult to tell. This is going to be used for the leaf. I decided that. I'm sorry about the shiny, but my room is very dark right now because we have a storm passing over. Let's see if I can get a little bit of the shiny off of it. Yeah, so that you can see maybe. Okay, so the green goes for the leaf. And then I thought, well, this one here. Sorry, guys. This one here, it says yellow, orange, red. Okay. I'm thinking this is the one I want in the pumpkin. And I'm not sure that I want to go ahead and add flake as well, but I think I will. So I'll put a little bit of flake in here, a little bit of flake in here after I dust the leaf. And then I will dust the inside of the pumpkin with this. And I might even do kind of a mixture. I'm not sure how that would work because it's just an orange mica. And, but I'm kind of thinking it would be maybe really pretty. I don't know how it would affect the color shift in this one. But I think it would be kind of really pretty to have this orange mixed in with this. I don't know if it'd turn muddy, so I'll test a small one first. So the next thing to do is to get rid of this gold flake. Set these aside up here. And then I need to mix some resin. So back in a few minutes. All right, I haven't quite finished mixing up my resin yet because I leave some of B in here since it's the thinnest. And it looks like the lid to this, the safety lid, the seal is falling down in there. So we got to pull that out real quick. And then I have 360 mil to be mixed up all the way. So there's going to take a little bit of this here to get the color I want. And I put it in here since it's thinner to mix it up better. And let's get the spoon out of the way. Close this back up because as you can see, well, you can't see this. I'm sorry, guys. But, okay, so the mic is now in here. And now I just mix it. I have my mask on because mica floats like crazy. And you want to mix it in pretty good. And as you can see, this is coming out to be a really good color here. I do have to get more lighting. I really do. Now this is turning out a little bit more coppery than I wanted. Definitely a lot more coppery. More like a brown. And this is that chameleon or color shift. So I'm going to add something else to it. Out. Go. So I think I'm going to add a little bit of this. So I don't know if I want to add orange or yellow. I think yellow. yellow to brighten it up a little bit. And yes, lots of these colors I've not opened yet, so I know you can't see me doing this. Oh, don't you just love it when the inner seal sticks? Now this is how I take these off. I just barely pop down on it and then use the tweezers just to begin the start here. And I do want to try to control how much goes in. I did say try. So I'm going to wipe this off. I do have more, but I'm trying to limit the messes right now while I'm still finishing up the arrangements of my room. All right, it's thoroughly cleaned off. Let's get a little bit of yellow in here. Let's start with this small amount first. And go ahead and scrape it off on here. I think my camera needs to go up a little higher so I can get everything in again. Okay. Let's get this mixed up in there. And I do have to move as fast as I can. It's a little slightly better. I think it's going to need a lot more yellow. And if you're wondering, no, I can't really finish a train of thought today. It got derailed several times already, as you can tell. I did not do the gold flakes. I tested it. And, well, unfortunately, this flakes, these, okay, you know what they are. The faux gold and copper flakes. Gonna have to add a little bit of my pour in here so I can get this mixed up more. It's a little bit easier to move. Like I said, I don't know if the color shift is going to work with the other type of mica in here. Oh, that's a lot better. I might add just a little bit more yellow. Apollo, out. Now, I do try to keep my dogs out. Apollo, out of the room. It's 5:15. Yes, they are getting antsy for Daddy to get home. Get the stick back in there to get a little bit more to stir, because the more powder you put in, the thicker it becomes. Oh, I like that a lot better. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and get this in there, and I'll be back as soon as it's mixed. I forgot my purpose of showing you that was to show you that when you pour it in here, you can also be able to tell if you've thoroughly mixed your resin. And of course, as you're mixing, always scrape. Scrape the sides, scrape the bottom. Now I do have my new resin mixing tool. And, well, I laid it down to use and I can't really find it. So I'm just going to continue to do it this way. Yes, there are bubbles, but this is the Tea Expert 1-to-1 ratio crystal clear, and it degasses very well. That's why, as you saw on my one Amazon haul, I was very elated to get that 2-gallon kit. One of the better birthday things I could ever think of. Okay, I'm going to pause you, get this done because my hand's starting to hurt, and I'll be right back. Just wanted to show you this color. This is marbling really well, so I'm hoping it stays marbling in the jar, but it's almost got a gold tint to it now. Almost caramelly. So not quite what I was looking for, but it will definitely do. Before I forget, before I pour into anything, this is that green color shift. Plus I have some orange down in the stem. All right, I gotta hurry up and get this moving so I don't have a situation. Let me get this finished and I will bring you back for the pour. Okay, one more thing. Notice I have a baby wipe down. This helps keep the mica from getting everywhere. That way, the little bit you get on the side, so much easier to wipe up, and then you can just roll up the baby wipe like that. Some of these micas really like to stick to the silicone. So you kind of circular motion and straight up and down, and even then, not always. I'm going to clear it up. Okay. Let's start this pour. Now, I'm not doing anything special to the pumpkin itself. I am going to do this, though. I am going to scrape my stick. Yes, I do use sticks because the resin you use matters. The temperature and humidity levels matter on whether your resin will degas well or not. And then what I'm going to do is lay my stick down like that, and I'm just going to slow pour. And let it run off the stick. I don't want to get too far because I do want to show you what I do that works well at releasing bubbles at the bottom. Because no matter what, you're going to have a little bit of bubble problem. And so I'll show you how I handle mine. Set this aside now. Since I don't have anything going in on the sides, no micas that just stick into this or glitters or anything else that I have to worry about disturbing, I take these little guys and I pick them up, and I'm just going to squish the bottom of it. I know you can't see that very well. My camera is down so much lower than normal, so I'm not used to that. But if you do this, you'll get those bubbles at the bottom, which is actually the top of your jar. And then set it down and tap just a little bit. And then you do that progressively. So you want to put your stick back in. Now I'm just going to have to hold it up at this point because I didn't want to have to scrape it again. And we're going to start pouring some more. I'm sorry it's so dark. I will get it figured out on the lighting. Of course, in my neck of the woods, I do have some issues with that because we have a lot of rain and snow and all of those kinds of wintry things. I'm sorry, I had to stop. I just saw a little piece of fuzzies that I need to remove. And I want to get that lid done before I get the rest of that done. Okay, now, got to remember that's got a stem. So we're just going to hang that over that real quick. Grab up. And as Steve McDonald says, squidgy widgy it. Pop those bubbles right on out of there. Okay. Fill up a little bit more. Don't want to go too much just yet. Because I need to first get the bubbles out of the edge here. Let's see if I can do that. Move this over for just a little. I am mainly trying to get as much of this out of a deep chasmic situation. Because I don't want a flash cure. Well, it sounds like the husband's getting home. I saw some more bubble there. And there's another bubble right here. There we go. And it looks like another one right here. And yes, for these types of molds, I really don't like putting a lot of anything on the inside walls of them, because then you have to worry about disturbing the, like if you paint it with mica or whatever, you have to worry about disturbing that. Okay, let's get that back over here. Finish that pour. And I do want to try to top it really well, because I don't want to have to deal with all the sharp edges. However, I will finish the doming effect after I get this finish poured. And I don't know how much this mold takes, but I do know that the 360 mil that I did for the other pumpkin left me with very little left over. Okay, slow that down a little. Keep that from dripping too much. Oh, I can see it's going to have some banding effect too. Now, because it's dark in here, I can't really see how far up the dome is yet. So I'm going to have to get as level as I can with them both and take a look. All right, this one could use just a little bit more. But before I do this one, I want to make sure. Sorry, I don't mean to be in the way there. Just trying to take some of that off. And I'm going to take my stick in here and move things around just a little bit at that rim. And then I'm going to add a little bit at a time by the stick. But first I'm going to pour quite a bit of that in the skull and try to finish this guy off. What do you think, guys? Well, guys and gals. All right. No, he's not full yet, but since he's got a little bit of all these little areas, I want to make sure I do try to get some of that. And it looks like I'm going to need a different mold as well to finish this off. All right, like I said, I can't see that well right now because of how dark it is in here. So I know if I can't see that well, you guys are probably having a few troubles with it too. Remember, I'm just trying to dome, not overfill, so, and I'm also trying not to get it running down everywhere. Okay, this one is domed really well. And this one will be there very quickly. And because I have my heat mat out, I will be just tinting this. Okay, I gotta sit back for a second and see what I got going here. Domed really well. Could possibly use a little bit more. Hold on, my glasses are fogging up. Yeah, it can use a little bit more. And the skull can use just a slight bit more. So I need to find another mold. Don't worry, I have some close by. Okay, I think that's it for that. All right, let me grab a different mold here. Well, I guess it's going to have to be Halloween mold. Ooh, I won't use that one. I'll use this one. Hopefully, I don't have to grab another one. Sorry, I know I walk around sometimes a lot trying to decide some things. But I'll have almost all my Halloween molds out and at the ready. Now this mold is going to be a hard one to fill. I can only fill it halfway for the moment. I'm definitely going to need another mold. This is that mold on Temu that has 4 skulls that you really can't tell what it is until after you get to make something in it. Also one of those finicky type molds that you can't really do much other than just pour resin in. Okay, finish filling and I'll grab another mold. For you resiners out there, don't you hate that? Now I don't mind overfilling these a little bit, because these will be a lot easier to clean up. And remove. Well, I hope they're going to be easy to remove. I've never actually poured this one, so we'll find out. Can't think what I'm going to do with that, because I domed them a lot of extra. We're just going to take this, wipe off that much of the top. And, all right, one more mold. Gotta find a good-sized one, don't I? Because I still got a bit there. Well, just in case, I've got those flat pumpkin molds. So I think I'll bring over two so I don't have to run back over. Oh my goodness. Sorry, I know it's not a Temu haul, but I'm sitting here rattling plastic anyway, right? Which reminds me, tomorrow or Monday, there will be a Temu haul video. It was supposed to arrive today, but with our weather having gone zonkers, stop that one right there for a second. I know you can't really see because I've got shadowing everywhere. But I'm going to go ahead and put the stick pokey down into the stem. Into these areas a little bit. Get them filled in. Pre-filled, I should say. That also helps stop your bubbles, because your resin is then pushed. Boy, that one's going to stick like crazy. Your resin is being pushed up against the walls of the mold. And that will help create a barrier for your bubbles. All right. A little bit more. All right, same thing. Stick your stick down in that stem. Do a pour. Woohoo! Just not that quickly. Let's take a little bit more out real fast. And yes, I'm going to have to do another mold. I do have 2 more of these, so I'll probably do those. If you're hearing thunder, it's because, well, that's that time of the year for us. And it seems to be I guess we've had snow in the state already in the mountains. So for the hunters, which we have quite a few, this will be a good year. Sorry, my allergies just kicked in hardcore. Happens every time I wear these stupid masks. Get a drink of water. Now this resin does have a smell. And that's one of the reasons why I'm wearing the masks right now, is because of the smell. Trying to get resin inside the mask. Or my hair. All right, let me get the other two molds real fast. I think I got the itchy throat under control. Oh. All right, let me pause you so that we can save a little time. Okay, so it began getting a little thick before I could get all of it out. And I'm not going to worry about what's in there because I'll just pull it out later when it's all dried and cured. So I've got the lid, the pumpkin. Yes, I accidentally hit the pumpkin with the bottom of my mixing cup while trying to fill these things. So finished up the skull. Got 4 pumpkins here. And then that's a pair of Halloween scary hens. They're earrings. So I did overfill those on purpose because I want them sort of rounded out. And in order to do that, you know, just a little bit like that. And then you sand the rough areas just a little bit. All right, I'm going to go and let this sit to cure. And be back as soon as I can. All right, these were on the curing mat for 2.5 hours. They are hardened, although the lid is a little bit on the soft side. And no matter the fact that I tinted it, it's still got fur in it. Hazards of owning pets. So I'm going to go ahead and demold, but I'm going to put you on pause while I put this. As you notice, I use a cooling rack. Just started doing that, as a matter of fact, thanks to my husband. This is one I use for when I do painting and just let the paintings dry on them. But I'm going to go ahead and start the demold. These things are still a little soft. The thinner items always will be. It's the deeper items that solidify better, faster. All right, I'll be right back while I switch out. All right, I'm back. I do want to point out that mixing the two together, it turned out with this yellow, orange, red chameleon and this yellow that I ended up with a beautiful caramel color. Let me pull this out for you. Oh my goodness. I shouldn't be doing this with my fingernails, not if I want to keep them for Halloween. So I'm going to use my tweezer for it to lift. All right, I want to say, oh my goodness, I'll be right back. All right, got it started. Now that I said that, watch, I'll have troubles getting it out the rest of the way. Okay. This is a beautiful caramel. I am absolutely in love with that. Too bad I probably will never get that recipe again. But that whole part right there, that whole piece is beautiful. Too bad I scratched it. But oh well. And yes, as you can tell, it's very bendy still. All right, I'm going to do the pumpkin last because I really want it to cool down a lot more while I'm doing these. The one that's going to be the hardest is going to be this one because it's the thinnest. So it's going to be the softest. And I'm going to try very hard not to bend it up completely. And these are those bloody hands for earrings. There we go. Pop that one out. Oh, that looks pretty cool. Don't know if you can see it with all the glare. Maybe I'll even paint the blood onto them. Although I don't know. I think that caramel look is pretty cool. Now I did notice that the inner part here is not glossy, it is matte. So just in case you got the same or plan on getting the same earring mold. All right, came out pretty easy and clean. So we now have a set. One got just slightly thicker than the other, but they are really close. Okay. I'm going to stick those right behind the pumpkin, move the pumpkin forward a little bit. All right, the next ones I want to attempt are these because these were deeper, so I'm going to see if they came out better. And I'm going to do this, hopefully, the more intelligent way. And I'm going to try popping them out like a bubble. I'm going to try popping it out like a bubble. Stretch real hard on these, folks. These are those little mini skull molds. All right. My arthritis probably will not allow me to get this part done. So we're going to give it a shot. Anyways, aha. Wait. I feel, aha. One mini skull. And no bubbles. Never seen a chocolate skull before or a caramel one, but that's pretty cool. So I'll finish demolding that when I get some hands again. Now let's check out these little flat pumpkins. Pumpkins? Oh boy. You can tell I've gotten no sleep. It is now 9:20 and kind of past my bedtime. I'm so old. And they are a matte finish on the inside of these mold. My husband's decided he's going to try. All right, now with the fact that the resin was starting to thicken as I was trying to pour into these, I did end up with some bubbles here. So I'll probably top coat that with resin. Not sure if I'll use the epoxy or, well, I'll probably use the epoxy because I found out at least the brand of UV resin I'm using has got some problems. It is very brittle after it's done. My husband's keychain that I made for him went kapoosh with just a slight drop. Okay, let's get this other pumpkin out of here. This one still has a little bit of, well, I don't know if that's a bubble or a defect in the mold because it looks like, oh, it's got to be bubbles. But they're not divoted. They are poked outwards. So, let's get the other two done. And these are coming out fairly easy. I really appreciate eating that. The molds are coming out pretty clean. These, of course, have to be put into their baggie. And yes, this one has, but it's all in this one area. And as I said, they don't feel like bubbles. They feel like they're poking up. Weird. Really weird. Usually if it's a bubble, it'll create a divot, not kind of an eruption. And the same thing with this mold. All of it is right through here. So they're, it looks like they're, maybe those are meant to be like that. I don't know. Maybe I was thinking maybe they're blanks that they use to create the molds. Might have a defect in them. All right, this one here is next because, well, he was done, what, out of 2 or 3 different pours. And this is the skull, and I've seen people have problems with the skull on demold. So, hopefully I won't. My husband's really starting to have his own problems with that skull mold that for the minis. Oh, he's got them all 4 out. He's just cleaning it for me. Well, how strange is that? Thank you. Much appreciated. Ugh. Okay, here he comes. Okay, I'm just going to hold him in my hand like this because I really want to check this guy out. Okay, mold is clean. He's ready to go into a baggie. Okay, let's see what this skull looks like. Here we go. Oh my goodness. Oh, I love him. That is so cool. He looks like he's got blood on his head. And not one little bubble anywhere in him. He's got a little bit of white marbling through the back of his skull there, where it had, the white had gone upwards and stuck against the mold there. He's got a little white indent there. A little bit of white around his eye right here. Oh, I like him. Maybe I can make more skulls like that. And maybe, possibly, in the bigger skulls. I like how it's got most of his eyes in white. Well, it's a half and half, actually. Well, let me know what you guys think about that skull. That's pretty cool. Now, remember, that was the small skull mold. Let's set this pumpkin out of that. Wait, okay, I'm going to go ahead and start with the big guy here. Kind of roll him away. Because he's just going to be a solid caramel color like the rest of the things are. I did not get enough of a dome, and I think it's because my little accident with the bottom of the cup, ouch, that one was sharp. I think I just peeled some skin. Maybe I need to get some special gloves to wear. Having high blood pressure and blood thinners because of it and this and that, I kind of worry tremendously about getting cuts because I don't clot as easy as I should because of the blood thinning. Yeah, it's getting there. Okay. A little bit more. Okay, I'm feeling some area of micro bubble. There's some more right there. But for me, it's giving it texture to hold on to it, so I'm okay with that. I could have used my Resiner's vacuum machine, but until I get everything completely set up again, I just wanted to not do that yet. Can you please put that right side out? Thank you. Okay, so as you can see, it is a very nice caramel color pumpkin. I will have to sand off this edge here. There are a few micro bubbles here, but at the same time, I think it's that mold that's got a little bit of defecting around here. Okay, so let's set that down. And then let's get that lid. Now, as I said, this mold does not have that piece that sticks out that matches with the notch in here. So it has no way to keep it in line with its stripes or its indents. Now this one did get domed enough, so it's not extremely sharp around the edge here. Get this all loosened up because the sides are still just a little soft. Luckily, it's secured enough that it'll bounce back into form. Wow, you'd think that this thing wasn't that big around. Okay, here we go. I think my longer fingernails are in the way these days. All right, I see a bubble right there. I should have come back and tried to make sure there was no bubbles floating. My dogs are getting a little anxious. It's getting time. It is time for them to go out to the bathroom. And lately with old dogs, well, if we don't pay attention to them very quickly, yes, we have to mop a floor. Okay, this is impossible here. Let's see, where is that at? Okay, so I need to come around here. There we go. And then pull it. There we are. Oh, that turned out really good. And that little bit of orange I popped down in here, that helped. And it just sits right on there. It is quite a loose top, though. And for some reason, the top turned out a little bit darker. All right, everybody. Yeah, I guess you know the drill. I'm going to say it. Hit the thumbs up if you like the video or anything in it. Subscribe if you haven't. I'd really welcome. The more company, the better. Thank you to all my returning subscribers, my viewership. I like the engagement that we're in when we chit-chat back and forth. I do like answering and trying to get to know my subscribers. Okay, also, leave a comment. Those things help. It helps all YouTubers. Oops. That little guy wanted to stick right there. Oops. I think I got him full. Okay. And share if you want. All right. You guys are precious. Peace out.